Old School Bodybuilding Clothing Company and Species Nutrition present RXMuscle's Olympia weekend coverage. For those that lose their mind if they haven't eaten any protein in 3.5 hours. OSBBC.com for the hardest training athletes.
Welcome back to RXMuscle's Iron Road to the Olympia 2020, brought to you by Species Nutrition and Old School Bodybuilding Clothing. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today's guest is a former men's physique Olympia champ and Arnold champ. He's our good friend. He's been on the show before. Brandon Hendrickson, welcome back.
What's up, bro? It's been a long time.
Yeah, I know. I think that from what I hear, all my little birdies whispering in my ears, they're telling me that Brandon Hendrickson is looking very good going into this year's Olympia.
The only time you hit me up for an interview is when I look good or when there's drama. So what are you exactly here for?
Well, this time it's dual. There's drama and you look good. So that's even the best of both worlds as far as interviews go, right?
Yo, to be honest, man, this is the best I've looked my whole career in bodybuilding. I'm so excited to show everybody what I'm bringing on Saturday.
I think that people would agree that you have some of the best genetics in the men's physique division. You have genetics that you could probably go to the open division if you ever wanted to. We had discussed that in the past before. So your whole limiting factor is which Brandon Hendrickson shows up at the day of the show. So right. you kind of can almost define your own destiny in a sense. And when you obviously showed up at the 2018 Olympia, you were the best and you won, and that was your best. I think that was your best look ever.
It's all up to me, man. When I come 100%, nobody in the field is going to beat me. Nobody beat me in 2018. I didn't come in 100% in 2019. I got beat.
Yeah.
2020, I'm coming 100%.
Now, how do you feel your look was against Andre Ferguson in the beginning of the year at the Arnold when he beat you?
Yeah, so we were very comparable, which is why they kept bringing us out with the top two. I feel like my weakness in the past has always been my back. Mm-hmm. So at the Arnold Classic, I feel like I've improved my back where I feel like it's no longer a weakness. I believe that the reason I placed second was because Andre's core was stronger than mine. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think that was all there was. I think it was just the core. He brought a great core, and they really liked that. And I think that's what made the difference between us. Now,
Andre's, we all have our weaknesses. Andre's weakness seems to be that every time he goes to the Olympia, he something happens, and he doesn't, for some reason, deliver at the Olympia. Obviously, you've delivered at the Olympia before, so you obviously have a little bit, you feel comfortable enough to be able to bring your best there. Why is the Olympia why do a lot of people have trouble, I guess, bringing it to the Olympia? Is it the fact that it's the biggest show, or is it something else that I'm not aware of?
Yeah, I think it's the fact that it's the biggest show. Also that it's at the end of the year. So maybe the energy is not quite the same towards the end of the year as versus maybe the Arnold, which is in the beginning of the year. Uh-huh. So, but for me, I don't know. I think because I live in Chicago where it's cold, I tend to dial in a lot better because I'm just gym, grocery store, home, gym, grocery store, home, and I don't want to do anything. So I feel like I'm always bringing my best at the Olympia because it's towards the end of the year.
Right. No distractions. There's nothing else to do really. How do you feel with the Olympia now being in December? Is that an advantage or disadvantage having the extra time?
It gave me a lot more time to be ready. Unfortunately, it was such a long prep because I started prep around March, getting ready for September. So, and then they switched it. So I had to extend my prep. So it was an extra long prep. But it was also good because I was able to develop and bring up the body parts that I needed to bring up.
Now, when you become the Olympia champ, and I wouldn't know this, I wasn't an Olympia champ, but when you become Olympia champ and you run the whole year as the Mr. Olympia, and then you come into the following year to defend your title and you lose it, How demoralized, how depressing is that? Like, how do you pick yourself up after that? I'm sure it had to bother you for that whole, 2019 season.
Yeah, I was very, very upset. Mostly with myself, because I know that I can bring a better package than I did. It was also motivation for me because I know that I can bring better and I know what to do to bring better. So that's just what I'm going to do, is just not complain. I went through the whole grieving process for months.
Yeah.
Because for months, when I talk to new people or old people, they always want to ask, "Oh, you won the 2018. What happened in 2019?" Even
what
to this
did
day,
happen?
I get asked that.
What happened, do you think?
A lot of things, a lot of different variables. Me not following the exact diet to a T that my coach gave me, because I felt like my body wasn't responding the way it was supposed to. Also, I was very tired, very exhausted. I only got like 4 hours of sleep that night. I was running all over the place the night before. The last 24 hours was just hell. And I was very stressed, and you could see it in my body. You could see it on my face. So all those things, like, I was on point, bro. Like Thursday, even Friday morning, I was on point. But that last 24 hours really got to me.
So you think mentally it got to you? It
Yeah,
got to you mentally,
so
you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so my body, at that point, everything you do, your body's going to change. So my
Sure.
body was changing by the hour, bro. It was crazy. I never looked like that. I looked like shit. Like, I hate talking about 2019 Olympia.
Right.
And now I can admit that, because I look completely so much better. Actually, at the Arnold Classic, I felt like I redeemed myself. I brought my physique back. And now for this 2020 Olympia, not only did I redeem myself, but I'm even better than when I won 2018.
You mentioned your coach. You've been coached by Mandis Buckle for years. And just recently we saw he had posted an Instagram story, like I felt like, he had broke up with like a family member that, he was no longer going to be talking to. What happened? What 2 weeks after the Olympia, you guys kind of part ways. What went down?
I'm currently 4 days out from the Olympia, so I don't want to get into details quite yet. Right. I will say that it was time for a change. We've been together for 7 years. Yeah. It was just time for a change.
But why do it 2 weeks out from the Olympia? Something had to go down, right?
There's no time for change. Bro, look at COVID. COVID came out of nowhere. Yeah. Nobody knew. And look, not only did it come out of nowhere, everybody had to adjust to that change.
Yeah.
So for me, there's no time limit on when the change happened. The thing is, people have to adjust to this change that I'm making. Right. And on Saturday, there's going to be a change, and people are going to have to adjust to that
now,
as well. When
you leave one coach, okay, do you have a plan? In other words, is there someone else helping you to help support you through this show, or are you kind of winging it on your own?
Hey, it's like all state right now, bro. All state. I'm in good hands.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm in good hands. And after Saturday, you guys are going to find out who's been holding me down, who's been taking care of me. Right now, I'm just focused on this show. I have 4 days to bring my best, and that's what I'm focused on right now.
Right, so you don't
huh?
No, go ahead.
I know this is not the answers you're looking for, but I have to focus on this show right now. I will reveal everything after the show.
So what you're saying is basically whatever happened between you and your former coach, it's not mentally affecting you in any way. Your efforts, it seamlessly moved from one to the next person.
It was time. And I'm happy. I'm happy with the change. I know it was for the better. It was better for my career. I had a great run with Mandis. He helped me become one of the best physiques in the world. So I'm grateful for his time and how much energy he put into my preps. Just being, being a friend, being someone that was there for me. But like I said, it was just time for a change.
I spoke to him on the phone, prior to, the interview, because I wanted to get, his feedback, in case you would, just to see what his side of the story is. And he kind of played didn't want to get too much into the details, but I kind of got the impression from him that maybe, I don't know, you were ungrateful for maybe what some of the stuff he was helping you with. Was that Would that be an accurate assessment, or is that just someone who's kind of upset about you leaving, you know?
No, I think he's just upset that I left. You can't possibly say that I'm ungrateful. I've been on his side for years, supporting him for years, defending him for years. Even to my father, defending him to my father.
Why would you have to defend Mandis to your father?
We could talk about that later.
Okay, so your father, obviously your father wasn't happy with the way he was coaching you. That's what it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, my dad's my manager, so he's a big part of my, my career. And there were some disagreements, and it kind of, we were mixing too much business and personal.
Gotcha.
And it got to a point where I was with Mandis, and I cared about Mandis, and my dad didn't agree on certain things, and I was defending Mandis. But it was just time, man. I realized that my dad actually helped me realize that it's just time for a change.
Gotcha. So it was a business decision more so than maybe a coaching decision. Was that be accurate? It
was a major decision. It wasn't just coaching.
Yeah. Okay. So there was business involved, and that's fine. You're at the top of your game, and you know what? Money is important at the top of your game, because if you're not making money doing what you're doing, then you know what? You're wasting your time in a sense. And I can understand that business decisions are made all the time that are unfavorable, but at the end of the day, you got to be able to make a living for yourself, because there's only so many years you can do this.
Exactly, and I'm just trying to take advantage of the time that I'm here now.
So, all right, well, I'm sure we'll hear the full story after the Olympia is over, and I'm sure he'll maybe reveal his story. But the bottom line is that you're in good hands now. You're in a good mental place going into the Olympia. And I think that people just want to, look, as a fan and as a guy who covers the show, I want to see everyone at their best, because I want to see how you, Andre, Raymond, and the rest of the crew stack up against each other when you're all at your absolute best, because that would be the best show. Who wins at their best, and that's the best guy,
That's what everybody wants to see. They just want to see a good show. And with bodybuilding, like, the wins don't really mean anything, honestly. Like, the win is just a bonus.
Yeah.
It's about the show, the entertainment, the show we put on for these fans. That's what it's about. When I got 2015, I got 5th place at the Olympia. It was my debut at the Olympia. I placed top 5, which requalified me for the next year. I felt like I won.
Yeah, I would too. First time out, yeah.
Yo, the next year, 2016 Olympia, I get 4th place. The next year, 2017, I get 3rd place. Every year that I moved up was a win for me.
Right.
So first place it's not all about the win when you get first place,
Now, Ray Edmonds is the champ now, okay? He won last year. And he's a lot taller than you and Andre. You and Andre look like you can be brothers. I mean, you got very similar physiques, with nuances a little bit different in each person, but you got about the same height. You guys really match up well against each other. And then you got Ray in there that's like a giant compared to you. How do you knock the current champ off when he's so much taller? Is that an advantage for him or a disadvantage, you think?
It don't mean anything, bro. You know how bodybuilding is. It's not about how big you are. It's about the symmetry. It's about the conditioning. It's about the shape you bring, the overall shape. So I don't care about if a guy is taller than me, if he's shorter than me. I'm going to have the best shape, the best conditioning, and the best symmetry on that stage come Saturday. Right. And that's what's going to help me win the title again.
Do you think, and I happen to agree with you, I think conditioning a lot of times, when everyone's very evenly matched, I think sometimes the best conditioned guy wins. Conditioning wins shows all the time. Do you think that that's what it's going to come down to at this particular Olympia? Which one of you 3 guys is at your best?
I think we're all going to come in condition. I think to the point you're trying to say, I think it's going to come down to the symmetry and the balance and the physique. Because I really believe that we're all going to be at the top of the conditioning. So I don't think that's going to be an issue. I think what it's going to be is the symmetry and how we compare next to each other.
I'll bet, a lot of money on the fact that someone will be off, because that's we always wish, even in the men's open, I'm always praying that everyone is going to be at their best, but I always know that probably only about 20 to 30% of the guys will be at their absolute best. Everyone else will be a little flat, a little this, a little that.
I was referring to the top 5, top 6.
No, but I'm saying that the top 5, believe me, no one will be. of you three guys that I just mentioned, one of you guys will not be at 100%. Not because you didn't try, but because something just went wrong, and that's the nature of the beast. So
exactly.
You know, and you know, like you said, did you think you were going to be running around and get 4 hours of sleep the night before last year's Olympia? Probably that wasn't in the plan. You know, for whatever reason it happened, and it screwed you up. But you weren't planning to do that, right?
And it messed up my conditioning last year. So anything can happen.
I like your positive mental attitude you got going into the show. You seem very confident, and that's important if you want to win. Obviously, being a former champion, you have an advantage, you know, too, going into that show, and that's, you know, that gives you a level of confidence above some of these other guys that they just don't have. You've been in the winner's circle before.
Bro, I've been training with my team, underground athletes, coached by Mandis Buckle, whole year since we stepped out the Arnold stage. I've been training with Stanimal. I've been training with my guy, Push Pinder, Mandis, every single day at the Chicago Barbell Compound. They have, unfortunately, we have parted ways, but they have helped so much in this prep. They've helped me put on so much good muscle, and I'm so happy and just grateful with that amount of help that they put into me to make sure that I bring my best. So I'm really grateful to have them in my circle at the time. Now I just got to finish this strong. You know, like I said, I'm under new guidance now, and I trust him so much. So, like I said, man, we're just gonna bring 100% this Saturday.
Best of luck. I know you're in Orlando already at the gym there, so you're all settled in, which is smart. Not waiting until the last minute. And I hope you get that title back.
Hope so too, man. I appreciate you, brothers.
Thanks for joining us today. And that's going to take us, guys, to the end of another episode of RXMuscle's Iron Road to the Olympia 2020, brought to you by Species Nutrition and Old School Bodybuilding Clothing. I'm Dave Palumbo. For Brandon Hendrickson, we'll see you next time.